Have you ever had a friend or loved one that got seriously hurt and needed to go to the hospital, only to find out after that the cost of their treatment was far too expensive? Hi, my name is James Lincoln Oberg. I'm 17 years old. I'm a junior in high school, and I'm here talking about why the United States healthcare costs far too much and why it should be reduced. The cost of healthcare in the United States costs far too much, so much so that it costs more than double the best healthcare system in the world in the Netherlands, because the United States per capita being at 7,000, at around 7,000 per capita, and the Netherlands being at around 3,000 per capita. I myself and other members of my family have all had surgeries for various reasons in the US. And this has been my personal experience with how the healthcare system being far too expensive has affected my family. Now, this hasn't only affected my family, but affects many families of the United States and affects all of us who live here. Did you know that the US has the most expensive healthcare system in the world, but is far worse than that of many other countries in the world? The US healthcare system is worse than other countries such as Australia, Germany, Canada, the Netherlands, United Kingdom, and New Zealand. Now, there are many reasons that the United States healthcare system is so expensive, but it's far too expensive than it needs to be. And one of these reasons is um, that there are a lot of greedy people involved higher up in the healthcare system who benefit a lot from the healthcare system being very expensive. And if we were to have healthcare reforms and these people might be let go or in the healthcare system be reduced, then it would benefit all of the people in America because the it would it would cause less financial burden on the people in America who need to go through the healthcare system. The reducing cost would benefit all Americans because the financial burden would be less. Um, and I have an example. This is a gauze roll and some bandage. Now, typically, if you were to go get this at a supermarket or a store, it may cost you $2 or $5. And that's fine, relatively cheap. But if you were to go to a hospital, the price of this band to get bandaged up would vary greatly from hospital to hospital. There's not really a uniform price for said bandages, and each hospital would treat the price very differently. Not only would hospitals normally treat the price very differently, they would also raise the price drastically. So if I were to go to a supermarket and spend $3 on some bandages, I might have to go to the hospital, and when they bandage me up with possibly the same bandages, those expenses might cost over $100, being such a ridiculous high markup, while as other hospitals may even be 150. And this is this is a very good example of how corrupt the healthcare system could be with marking up prices. And this happens more than just bandages. Now, the healthcare system, while not perfect, is still effective for the most part in helping people. Just the fact is that it's way too expensive and it causes a lot of stress and anxiety to the families who can't afford the healthcare, and so and then they get plunged into poverty, which is not very good for their health, if you ask me. Now, you might be asking, how can we change this, or how can we help this situation? But you can help by possibly writing to your senator, asking for change and reform. Because if you write to your senator, it might inspire them to bring that to the Supreme Court and other legislation. Now, you can do a lot more than just writing to your senator. You can also donate to nonprofits to help those who maybe not who maybe can't afford healthcare themselves and they need a little help from other people in order to get the things they need in order to survive and live and get the surgeries that they want, that they need. A good such example of a nonprofit here in Texas that you can donate to is Texas Health Organization, which focuses on helping impoverished communities in Texas. Now, imagine later in the future that the cost of healthcare gets greatly reduced, making it more accessible to all the people in America. Now, the United States would definitely benefit from this because it would not only create a healthier population with more people being able to go to the hospitals and get the help they need, it would also create a happier population because the price burden wouldn't be so high that the people who now, there's a lot more people who now would be able to afford it. This would definitely benefit the US by changing these two things because with a happier population and a healthier population, you would be able to fill more certain roles that maybe not everybody could fill, like blue collar jobs, construction workers, and welders. It requires a degree of physical fitness, and also you have to be fully healthy regarding eyesight, vision, and hearing, and speaking. Um, Now, and also another problem in the United States is that, for example, insulin for people who maybe are diabetic, insulin is very expensive in the United States, and if the cost was reduced, it would definitely benefit the people who require insulin a lot. Now, summarize, you can help by writing to your senators asking for reform, or you can donate to nonprofits to help those who maybe can't help themselves. My name is James Lincoln Oberg, and thank you for listening.